as far as I know, even for a country like Germany, speaking English has been becoming quite common now. So everyone
That's
speaks
true.
English,
Yeah, yeah.
and I would say the situation might not have been the same few years back, but
Yes.
right now it's the best time for you to come and work in Germany, as they are accepting, they are finally accepting English as a language that everyone can speak.
Hi guys, I have Rishikesh with me today. He got a job in Germany from Ireland. Today he is going to share with us his experience, his profile, and how did he get the job in Germany from Ireland itself. Hi Rishikesh, I'm so happy to have you on the channel. Welcome you on the channel. So
Hi.
can you please introduce yourself and tell about your background? How did you come to Germany? What were you doing before moving here? And right now you are working in a job. So what was the overall experience with your profile? So.
Hi, Sandeep. Thank you for having me here. So, my name is Rishikesh. I come from Mumbai, India. I
Mm-hmm.
did my bachelor's in electronics and telecommunication engineering from Mumbai itself. Uh, uh, Ever since I was a kid, I had a big passion for space. I always wanted to work in the space industry. I was fascinated by the space, and that led to do my master's in space science and technology from Dublin, Ireland. And
Mm-hmm.
I worked in Ireland as an electronics engineer for a year. And meanwhile, while I was working as an electronics engineer, I was applying for roles in the space sector. And interesting thing about getting into the space industry is it's not easy at all. So from my
Mm-hmm.
experience, um, I had a lot of challenges, especially as a non-EU, to get into the space industry. It's a bit of a challenge, and
Mm-hmm.
but the important thing is not to give up, is to keep following your goals, keep following your ambitions. And I kept applying for the roles in the space sector, and luckily this year in April I got the interview from the company called Telespazio Germany, and that's the company I'm working for now. So right now I'm working as a spacecraft mission controller. So I'm really happy for this break into the space industry, and I'm excited for what the future holds.
Oh, perfect, perfect. That's nice, and it's so interesting that you are working on what something you always wanted to work for. You achieved, at least you are in the direction what you always dreamt for yourself. That's so wonderful. I'm just curious about one thing. You said that okay, you were sitting in Ireland. You studied in Ireland, right? So though you were in Europe, right?
Right.
So why did it take so long to get the job finally, and
Mhm.
why uh, you were not getting so many calls as IT guys normally get? So can you
Right.
explain a little bit about that?
Right. I'm first of all, I'm very happy for IT and computer science guys, because they are in demand everywhere you go. So coming into the very niche sectors like aerospace or space, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is it, it is a different scenario. For example, me when I decided to do my masters, I was looking for uh, good good European countries to do my masters in. The only
Mm-hmm.
reason I chose Ireland at that time was because it's an English speaking country, and I had zero understanding of German language. So
Mm-hmm.
I immediately skipped Germany, France, and other countries, which is actually much more advanced, and there are more opportunities in aerospace, space, and other niche fields than compared to Ireland or UK.
Mm-hmm.
Now, uh, talking about my situation in Ireland, Ireland is a IT hub. They have all the
Yeah.
company right from Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple, everything. And but when it comes to the space sector, they really don't have any companies at all. And that's when I realized that I haven't actually selected the right country. So
Okay.
now, even though when I'm in Ireland, right, me as a non-EU, I still have to apply for visa wherever I go in Europe. And especially when it comes to getting a job, the company has to sponsor my visa. Without
That's
that,
true.
there is no chance for me to go anywhere to work. And
Yeah.
that was the biggest challenge that I had to. It's it's not that I wasn't interviewing. I was interviewing a lot. I have my emails full of rejections, and the
Mm-hmm.
reason being that the company cannot sponsor the visa, and the second reason being they want someone to start immediately, which is not quite possible in my case because the visa application takes some time.
Okay, okay, okay. So the reason for like companies were not considering you just
Mhm.
because you don't hold the work visa, even if you are sitting in Europe, right?
Right,
So that's
right,
the reason you are telling, and the reason for that is that basically you were looking for a job outside Ireland, right?
right. Yeah,
And to move outside Ireland, you were being treated equally as you would have been sitting in India, right?
right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But
so
but I
just
would
to clarify,
but
for the audience, so this is
yeah,
not going to be the case for someone who is coming to study in Germany, right? Someone who is coming to study in Germany and looking for a job in Germany, then visa will not be a challenge. And your case is an exceptional case, just because there were not many jobs available in Ireland, and then because of that you had to look for the jobs outside Ireland, and which created a little bit of mess for you, right?
right. So yeah. So I would like to mention two things, right? First of all, getting into your point of someone who is coming to study in Germany and looking for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there's absolutely no worries for them because I'm 100% sure that whoever comes to study in Germany can eventually find a work for sure, because
Yeah.
Germany is a country which is very advanced. They have opportunities in every field, right?
Yes. True.
And it
True. True.
doesn't only has to be IT or computer science. Germany
Yes.
has a lot of openings in all of the engineering jobs you can ever think of. But
Mm-hmm.
when you only talk about Ireland, Ireland is just a IT hub. It's a paradise for someone who is studying IT or computer science. But
Mm-hmm.
I would still say that doing my masters in Ireland have given me a little bit of edge over someone who is sitting in India and applying for the same role. I would
Yes.
say that if I was in India, uh, if I would have done my master's in India, I would have been in a much worse situation than I was in Ireland.
Okay, I totally get it. Totally get it.
Yeah,
Yes, then employers, less number of employers would have been interested in you. But yes,
yeah,
employers are still hiring, employers are still
mm,
considering guys who are outside Europe. But yes, the numbers will 100% vary when they are sitting in Europe and when guys are sitting outside Europe. That's
true.
the thanks for explaining all of that. So can you also tell us about the business language of the company where you work in? So is it
Mm.
German or is it English? So how do you work basically?
Right. So, luckily for me, the main language for communication is English, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something about the space sector that it consists of employees and engineers and scientists from all over the world, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they obviously need one common language to speak, and that's English. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say, luckily for my field, German is not a requirement at all. It's always good if you know the language, if you know the local language. It's always
Mm-hmm.
good when you can communicate with local people in their own language. Like, trust me, it feels really good.
Yes,
But
true.
then, but then, apart from that, the company language is 100% English.
Okay, okay, okay. And what's the reason for that? Why the company language is English basically?
So yeah, just as I explained, that space industry is composed of engineers and scientists from all
Mhm.
around the world. So in my company, there's people from basically all over the world, right? From the United States to Spain, Italy, like all the European countries combined, and other countries as well. And obviously, they need one common language to speak, and
Yeah.
it has to be English. And that's why English is the main language. Everyone in the company speaks English, and lucky for me.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Even same for the IT sector. For example, right now these days, many IT companies are offering solutions
Mhm.
all over Europe, for example, and they have to work with the clients or maybe service providers from all
Right.
over Europe, or sometimes outside Europe, could be in Asia,
Mhm.
could be in North America. So for that reason, I always tell to applicants, okay, when you are looking for a job in Europe, try to target the companies where they have the clients, or they are working with the service providers who are spread all over Europe, or maybe
Right.
even outside Europe. So
Right.
you then you will have better chances to get the calls, because the business language will be always English in such
Right.
companies. That's
Yeah,
so
I would like
wonderful.
to add something here that
Hmm.
I would personally like to suggest people who are trying to get a job in Germany to not let yourself down by the language barrier. I would still recommend everyone to apply for your dream roles, apply for whatever you think is the best role for you. And there
Yeah.
is always no harm in applying at all. If you get the interview, that's good. If you don't get it, you apply for some other role. And as far as I know, even for a country like Germany, English speaking English has been becoming quite common now. So everyone
That's
speaks
true.
English,
Yeah, yeah.
and I would say the situation might not have been the same few years back, but
Yes.
right now it's the best time for you to come and work in Germany, as they are accepting, they are finally accepting English as a language that everyone can speak.
Yes, definitely. That's
Yeah.
definitely true, because companies really want to grow in the international environment, and that's the reason. Okay, companies are preferring to hire people,
Mhm.
hire the international talent who are more skilled,
Right.
and definitely, if they speak English, that's not a
Mhm.
problem at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what is your recommendation? Let's say, doesn't matter. Let's say you studied in Germany,
Hmm.
or let's say you studied in Ireland, or let's say you we are not talking about the study. Let's say
Hmm.
somebody is sitting outside Europe, okay,
Yeah.
and then looking for a job in Germany, or maybe, so what do you recommend? Should the person should focus only on one country, for example,
Hmm.
only on Ireland or only on Germany? So what should be the
Hmm.
strategy normally when somebody is sitting outside Europe, or maybe studied somewhere in any country within Europe? So how the
Right.
person can get the job faster, and then
Hmm.
so that he get the results, he gets the job what he wants to work in.
Right. So for me personally, it depends on the person. Now, if a
Definitely.
person is sitting outside of Europe and his only intention is to enter Europe, then
Yes.
obviously his the smart move should be to apply in all the countries in Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not just be specific to one country,
Okay.
because because the job opportunity in Europe right now is at its peak. I would say uh, people are preferring Europe over US, like clearly, because the work
Yes.
life balance is very good. There is no racism at all. You can
Yes.
travel anywhere in Europe. Like, you just need weekends to travel anywhere you want, right? Last weekend I was in Belgium to visit my friend. This weekend I'll be flying to Dublin again. So I mean, considering all these things, it, it actually doesn't matter where you are in Europe as long as you are inside the Europe, right? So
Yes. Yes.
so for
Yes.
someone who just want to enter Europe, I would recommend just apply to all the opportunities in all the European countries. But now there might be someone, for example, someone wants to come and work only in Germany. Then
Mm-hmm.
obviously you have to apply for you have to work a bit harder and look for the right opportunities, look for the right companies that would sponsor your visa, look for the companies that is English speaking. In that case, language won't be a barrier to you. So there's a lot of factors that come into play if you are more hell bent on one European country. But For me personally, when I was sitting in Ireland, I was not only applying for Germany, I was applying for all the European countries. I was applying in Belgium, I was applying in France, I was applying in Germany. Luckily, I got the offer in Germany, and I would say that one of the best countries to work in. So,
That's
yeah,
so wonderful, so wonderful.
yeah.
So I just noted down two or three things in when you
Mm,
explained about it. So you said that okay, if you really want to focus on Germany, the journey is
mm,
going to be little bit harder, right?
right.
So I just want to explain the other side of it, what you explained.
Mm,
So
right.
when you not only look for a job in Germany, you also look in Netherlands, you also look in Belgium, like you said, or
True.
you look in Sweden, you look into
Mm,
France, then
mm,
chances of getting job will be higher. And then maybe let's say if you are focusing only in Germany, right, maybe you
mm,
get a job in 3 months, 6 months, or maybe 1 year, right?
yeah,
But then when you focus all over Europe, then this journey is definitely going to be shorter compared to when you only focus on Germany. So that's the other
yeah,
side of it. Basically I wanted to bring to the light. Yeah.
yeah.
and
That's
and
very
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you just mentioned two things which are really interesting, and I really like them, and because
Mm,
those are the hard facts. You
mm,
said that okay, the jobs in German market or European market are at its peak at the moment.
mm,
This is
mm,
definitely true to consider for anyone searching for a job, whether you are sitting in Europe or whether you are sitting outside Europe. That's definitely true.
mm,
It's just that okay, you have to project yourself very effectively to find that job, right?
yeah.
And you also talked that okay, even professionals, people who are located or working in US are also
Mm,
looking for a job in Germany, in Europe, so that they
mm,
are opening up towards Europe, considering US has its own challenges for them. So that's
mm,
definitely true. And then racism is not there, and then a lot of other advantages, travel,
yeah,
and a lot of other opportunities. Yeah.
yeah.
So, like you studied in Europe, so when is it the best time to start applying for your internship or maybe for the job within Europe when you are sitting as a student in Europe? So, when is the best time? Like, is it after finishing your master or bachelor, or is it a little before that? So, what do you say on that?
So from my experience, studying my master's degree in Ireland, I would absolutely 100% recommend to start looking for a job right from the first day you have
Okay.
entered your class for your master's.
Okay.
I would suggest you to have your CV ready, and the European CV has their own format. So I think it's called Europass or something. I'm not sure about that. So you need to have your you need to at least have your CV completely finished and ready on your
Mm-hmm.
first day of your master's. Don't wait until you uh, get into a master's, until you get comfortable, until you find enough time. I would absolutely not suggest you to wait at all. I would start. I would suggest you to start looking for jobs right from the first day. At least have an idea as to what the job market is, which companies you can apply for, uh, and as a non-EU for us, trust me, it's not easy if you don't put efforts into looking for jobs yourself. The opportunities won't come and knock into your doors. You have to go look for opportunities. And that's how you do it. You be active in your job searching. You be aware of the job culture. You be aware of the job environment. You be aware of what companies you can apply to. And yeah, so I would suggest to start looking for jobs as soon as possible during your studies.
So yeah, definitely, definitely. You have very well said that as soon
Mm,
as you join your master's course, you must start looking for the
mm,
job. You have very well said that okay, you are not aware about the work culture, you are not aware about the environment, and you have to find the companies which are interested in you, and then for
mhm,
that you have to work on your profile, you have to project yourself, and then it takes time. You project
mhm,
yourself as the right fit for that job. So for that reason you have very well said that okay, from the day one
mm,
start doing that, so that by the time you finish your master you have already overcome the major challenges, and then you
yeah,
just have to attend the interviews and uh, enter the company as a professional.
mhm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you lived in Ireland, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you
Yep.
must have also traveled to UK from time to time, being in Ireland, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, right? And
Yeah.
now you are working in Germany. So
Mm-hmm.
you have the taste of majorly of these three countries, and definitely all over Europe wherever you traveled. But when I speak
Mm-hmm.
about these three countries, so first of all, how do you like the culture in these three countries? How are
Mm-hmm.
you liking the environment here? And
Mm-hmm.
can you explain or point out any differences in the culture, whether it's personal, professional, when we talk
Mm-hmm.
about Germany, Ireland, and UK?
So specifically speaking about Ireland, I've lived in Ireland for 3 years, and I have actually have the best memories of my life in Ireland. So Ireland is a
Wonderful.
very open-minded, very nice country. The people are very friendly, very outgoing. Uh, uh, like it, the atmosphere there is just so lively, and people cheer you up. Everyone just wanna have a nice glass of beer. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty. It's very chill. I would say it's people are very welcoming in Ireland. Uh, Culture wise, but professionally professional wise for me, for specifically speaking about the space sector, there was no jobs for me there. That the only reason I had to move away from the country. uh, and now coming to Germany, Germany is the best, one of the best European countries to work in,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to space and aerospace. There is a lot of opportunities here. So professionally wise, Germany is the top in the market. But culture culturally wise, right? You when Especially when you come from a country like Ireland, you could see the difference. The people here are friendly, but they are not as friendly as Irish people. uh, i mean
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
the first day when I was here, I could immediately feel the difference, and I actually missed Ireland for the first time in my life. So
Mm-hmm.
but as you settle down, as you uh, go through your day to day life, it gets pretty normal. And right now, like, I actually have nothing to complain. It's all about the right group of friends and company you are with. Luckily for me, I have uh, very nice colleagues and workmates. So we work hard on the weekdays, we party on the weekends, and that's all you want. You want the right work-life balance, and you get it all in Europe, may it be Ireland, Germany, or UK.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a very wonderful answer you gave. That's so
Mhm.
nice. I'm more focused on to understand, were you doing anything different
Mm.
when you applied? Did you get the call straight away? Let's say you applied to company X, right?
Right.
So did you get the call on a timely basis from the
Mm.
day one? Like you applied and in 3 weeks you got the first interview call? Or
Right.
you applied many such companies and then
Mm.
you didn't get the call, and then you
Mm.
tried to dig more deeper and try to understand what
Mhm.
is the reason I'm not getting calls.
Mm.
So
Right.
if there was such thing, first of all, was there
Mm.
any such thing that initially you
Mm.
didn't get the call, though
So,
you might be looking in Germany? If there
yeah.
was such thing, let's assume if there was such thing, then
Mhm.
how did you overcome that?
Right. So the first thing when I applied for jobs, I would say my first few interview calls were pretty quick. Uh, when I applied for the roles, maybe in few weeks, I got the interview call straight away.
That's nice.
Initial
Mhm.
call with the HR, right? Now, why it didn't work out? That's a different story, because there are a whole lot of reasons as to I was still studying. I was still studying my master's,
Mhm.
and uh, I remember my first interview call was from Germany itself. The
Mhm.
first ever interview call I got while I was doing my master's. And during that time, there was a rule in Germany as to uh, you need to have finished your master's in order to apply for a work visa. But I was still doing my master's. And for that reason, I didn't get the first
You
call.
didn't get through. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get through that.
Mm-hmm.
But there were also many situations where I used to apply for many roles, right? And I never heard back from them. So it's not that uh, they wrote me an email saying that I was unsuccessful. I just didn't hear back from them. So that's one of the frustrating things that you would come across when you apply for jobs. And I would uh, suggest to not let yourself down, and keep applying for the roles, keep applying for the opportunities. And I mean, there will be one day, like, if you
Definitely.
work hard enough for something, right, you would eventually get it. Like, that's my uh, typical idea of applications.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, yeah, basically, yeah, you have very well said that. Okay, when employers review the applications,
Hmm.
they see your motivation. Okay,
Yeah.
and you have to make every effort to convince to the employer that you are really motivated to work for them, for this company, maybe for this position. And
Yeah.
then you get the interview call, then that's a separate story. Then you know each other better, whether you are right fit for each other or not, right?
Hmm.
It's not that you are not skilled, you are definitely skilled. It's just that okay, you have a different set of skills, and they are looking for a different set of skills. That's a separate story.
Hmm.
So keep
Right.
applying until you start getting calls, and then
Yeah.
until you start cracking those interviews. Yeah.
Hmm. And there's another very im- important tip that I would like to give to the viewers, whoever is planning to apply for jobs with outside of Europe, who's trying to come into Europe. Even if you get rejected in a job, right? For example, you have had interview with the team leader or the hiring manager, right? And you didn't get the job. Don't just, close the book and throw it away. Stay in touch
Definitely.
with that manager.
Mhm.
Stay in touch with that team leader. Connect on LinkedIn. Text
Mhm.
them every, like, once in a while, if there is any vacancy coming up. Consider me for the role. That not only shows them that you are still motivated to apply for the role, that also shows them that you are consistent and you are hardworking and you are motivated. And that's how you will land a job. So staying connected is one of the most important things. And, like, never underestimate this. And I would highly suggest to stay connected. Even though you are unsuccessful, connect with the managers, connect with the team leaders, stay connected with them.
Yeah, 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 definitely. That's definitely true. So now something interesting. So what was your first reaction when you saw that email? Okay, you are getting this job offer, and how was your, like, what was your first reaction, and then how was your feeling about it? So
Well, that's the feeling I would remember for the rest of my life. So it's
definitely.
quite special to me, because
Mhm.
I have been really struggling to get my break into the space industry since 1.5 year, right? And I
Mhm.
have my emails, at least 1,000 emails full of rejections. And
Mhm.
then once you see one email with the acceptance,
Mhm.
so the first reaction is you can't quite believe it that you are actually seeing it,
True.
because by the time you have actually landed that job, you have been through so many failures and so many unsuccessful attempts. And that one success, I would describe that very humbling. And so for me it it was very humbling. For me, uh, it showed me that if you work hard for something, you would eventually get the results, right? uh, Everything you work for, you always get the results for it. And my feeling was absolutely amazing. First thing I did was call my mom, told her that I've got the job offer, I'm finally
Nice.
going to Germany. And that was one of the best feelings I've had. So
Oh, that's so nice, and definitely,
yeah.
yeah, I'm also so happy that okay, when, like, because this is something you really wanted during your study, and then even after you finish your study, and that's why you moved to Europe overall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the
So
whole
for
point.
I mean, for anyone who is moving to Europe, I know it is a bit risky. People think,
Yes.
what if you invest your time, your money into your master studies, and what if you don't get a job? So my question to you is, what if you get the job? Like, what if everything works out? Instead of thinking, what if you don't get a job, right? So there is always two ways to look at things. You either can think about
Yes.
it uh, positively, or you can be cynical about it. So the
Yes.
important thing is to always be positive, always have a positive mindset, always be motivated, know that where you have come from, what your roots are, and what you want to achieve in life. Once you have that cleared up, I don't think anything can stop you from achieving what
Yeah,
you want.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The this roots thing you mentioned, it reminded me of
Yes.
this book from Start with Your Why. Basically, it's a really
Right.
interesting book from Simon Sinek. So
Mhm.
yeah, so this book totally talks about, okay, what are you doing first of all before actually starting it. You must know why are
Mhm.
you doing, and then
Right.
when you know that, okay, why are you doing, and then you
Mhm.
start including it in your every action, make it part of your life instead of hiding
Mhm.
it, instead of being
Mhm.
superficial. Try to be natural and you will automatically be natural, right? And then you
Mhm.
will, when you are natural, you will 100% get it. So that's so
Yeah,
inspiring. Yeah.
that is
Okay.
very true.
Okay, so how to keep, what do you recommend, that how to keep yourself motivated in such difficult times when you are looking for a
Mm.
job, whether you are sitting in Europe or outside Europe? You are studying in Europe looking for a job, or maybe you are sitting
Mm.
outside Europe as a professional and looking to move here with a job offer. So, what's your recommendation on the front that, okay, you are always motivated in your process?
So, I mean, my motivation might sound crazy to some people, but that's how that's how it worked for me, right? Whenever, so starting going a bit back into the past, right? When I decided to do my master's in space science, my parents were uh, very against it. He was like, "Oh, like you should do something in IT, computer science, because there is a track record of people finding a job. Your life will be stable. You don't have to struggle." But then, obviously, I knew in my mind that even if I work in IT or computer science, no offense to people who are working, obviously you are doing great job. For me, I have no interest in it. Even if I get a job in it, I would work for a few years and then I would be fed up with my life. So whatever you do in your life, you have to be happy with it. So that's your first motivation. If you are
Yes.
motivated enough to find a job that will make you happy, then you are definitely in the right track. Keep the motivation, keep the hard work, uh, keep the grinding, and it will all come to you. That's what
Definitely,
my
definitely. That's very well said, I would say. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so you gave a gist of how is the aerospace industry in Germany,
Hmm.
and how is it in Europe. Maybe if you can tell in more detail about the aerospace industry, what's
Hmm.
the future, where is the industry going, and what's the scope for the guys who are studying in Europe, who are studying in
Hmm.
Germany or some other country.
Hmm.
What's the scope for professionals who are looking to move here, move to Europe with the relevant experience?
Right. So speaking about aerospace and space, uh, I come from a electronics and telecom background, but the colleagues who I work with, everyone has a aerospace engineering background. So I would say people I have seen people studying aerospace engineering, mechatronics engineering, automobile engineering, and then go working in banks and IT. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. If you are really interested in working in your field, right? Germany and Europe is probably the best place to work in. Especially Germany, I would say the aerospace and the space sector is blooming. It's at its peak. Uh, I mean, this is the sector that has never gone out of market anyways, right? You just have to find the right company, you just have to find the right opportunities, and it's always there. It's always there.
So that means that
Yeah,
okay, the future is always there, and then you
yeah.
just have to look for the job at the right place, and then
Hmm.
present yourself as a very well a right fit, basically. So
Yeah,
as the right
yeah.
fit for the position, for the employer.
Yeah,
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 perfect.
yeah. Obviously, for any role you apply to, you at least have to have some knowledge of it. Now, now there are people who I've seen apply for roles and they have 10 to 20% working knowledge of that role, and they still get the job, right? So you still have to have at least a little bit of knowledge. It's not that you have to know everything about it, because whatever you have to do in the company, you are trained for it. You will be trained. Like,
Hmm.
for example, for me, working as a spacecraft mission controller, it's actually a starting role into the space sector. So I am being trained. Whatever I have learned in my bachelor's and in my master's is secondary. But whatever you work in the industry is the real work you do, and you are trained for that. So, uh, yeah, just apply for the roles. And even if you think you don't have complete knowledge of the job specification, I would still suggest you to still apply for
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Just one point I want to add here.
it. Mm.
Basically, like you said, that you will be trained for the role. So,
Mhm.
just to for the audience who are coming from the experience, let's say somebody who
Yeah,
is 5 to 7 years, yeah, seven
yeah,
years of
that's
experience.
different.
Yeah, in that case, it's going to be quite different,
Hmm.
because then chance of getting the training, definitely they will explain to you, okay, these are the systems, this is the
Hmm.
architecture of the system, and then this is the where you fit in, and then that's your job, right? This is all you will be they will be explaining to you. But coming as
Hmm.
a experienced professional with 5 to 10 years of experience,
Hmm.
expectations will be different. But yes,
Yeah.
coming as a master student who had
Hmm.
2 years of experience, and
Hmm.
then you are changing the industry, coming into a new industry after your master, then yes, you are very right that okay, you will be getting know how to start work there, and then what are the expectations, and then how to achieve the day to day goals,
Hmm.
right?
That
Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And can you brief us the salary range for somebody who is freshly passing out as as a master student, having
Hmm.
no experience, or maybe having a couple of experience? So at the general level, right? Like how
Right.
is it? How it could be? What could be the range in Germany and in Ireland?
So in Ireland, from my experience, starting as a fresh from masters with no experience at all, or even 1 or 2 years of experience, I would say around uh, 40 35 to 45,000 as the starting salary in Ireland, right? But when it comes to Germany, it can, like, right now it can go as high as to 45 to 50,000 in Germany. So I would say the salary range is a bit higher in Germany than in Ireland.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's about the master graduate or bachelor graduate.
yeah.
How about, let's say, if you have the idea, how about if
Mhm.
someone having 5 years of experience? So what kind of salary the person can expect in Germany, if you have the idea?
Yeah, from Ireland, I know because I have friends working in IT
Mm-hmm.
having 4 5 years of experience, and if I know it correctly, they earn around 60 to 65,000, right?
Okay. Okay.
And in Germany, I honestly have no friends with 5 years of experience working here, but then but I have still looked up at roles and opportunities with five, which requires 5 years of experience, and the salary range was 65 to 75,000. So that's again a bit higher than it is in Ireland.
Ireland. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. Okay, so maybe would you like to give some tips
Hmm.
for the job seekers who are searching for a job in Europe? So whether they are located inside or
Mm.
they are located outside Europe. So any specific
So,
2 or 3 tips you want to share?
so my number one tip is to connect with the hiring manager. If you know the HR, connect with them. If you know the person who is going to interview with you, send an invitation on LinkedIn, speak with them, show them that you're really interested, show them your interest, show them the projects you have worked in, talk to them, show them that you are really motivated and you are willing to do that extra bit to get that job. And trust me, they really appreciate that. And that would
Mm-hmm.
really help you get the job. So my first tip is to connect. My second tip, obviously, if you are looking for a job, I know how difficult it can get. So the most important thing is to stay positive, stay motivated, know your roots, have a clear goal in your mind about what you are, why did you come here in the first place, right? If you are in Europe, you need to know why did you come here, which companies you're going to apply for, which kind of roles are you gonna is gonna make you happy 10 years from now. So stay motivated, stay happy, and connect. That's
So,
my
so
main tip.
definitely, yeah, these are the most wonderful tips you have given. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why they say, okay, connect with the other person, share
Mhm.
more about you, and then understand the expectations about the role,
Yeah.
and then so that during the interview you are more connected to the role. You project
Mhm.
yourself more better when you are sitting in the interview. That's wonderful. And yes, you must know why you are coming, why you applied for this job, what's the
Yeah.
connection, and
Yeah.
then uh, how you can help the company
Mhm.
through your passions or motivation, so
Yeah.
that both you and the company are successful in what you are in what you are
Yeah.
doing basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's so nice. Mhm.
Also it's very important for the for you to show the company that you would be an asset for them, right? The company won't just
Definitely,
hire anyone and have no expectation at all. If you are passionate about something, you need to show them to the company, and that's how you get the job. So that's
definitely.
very
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so nice. Okay, yeah. So before closing, maybe so any words about Conical education?
Mhm.
So if anywhere that Conical education did like help you for one
Mhm.
percent, so that would
Right.
be nice to, if you have something,
Right.
not necessary.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from my experience with Conical education, when I got the job offer in Germany, right, I had to go through the visa process. And even though the company like had everything sorted out, everything figured out, I was still paranoid in my
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
as to,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
what is going to happen? What if my visa get rejected? Like for no reason I was having these thoughts in my mind.
Mhm.
And that's how I contacted you, and I got to know you. And I asked you some questions on the visa thing, and you very actively replied to them. You are very helpful. So and then I also did follow your channel on YouTube. And then I had a thought about it, and I think that Conical Education is actually doing a very good job for to help people uh, understand their potential, that they not only can work in India, but can also relocate to Europe and work in Europe and get a better life, get better salary, and get better work life balance. So, for me, I really appreciate what you are doing, Sandeep, and I really get the sentiments of people who are applying for jobs, and any kind of help that they get is very relieving for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So,
True, true, true.
so I think you are doing a great job, and just keep continue with your work and
Definitely.
inspiring more people to come and work in your.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for those kind words. Yeah, that's so nice. Yeah. So okay, yeah, that was a great experience to
Mhm.
speak with you. Thanks for coming on the channel, sharing your experience, helping others understand your journey, so that they
Mhm.
also think that okay, it is possible, and then they can also do it for themselves. They can change their lives. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. And if my talks can remotely help someone who is gonna watch this video, I would be glad and I would be happy.
Definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
for sure. So
Mm.
if at least like one person gets impacted by this,
Mm.
maybe gets motivated to get a job, then I
Yeah.
think it's worth it for sure. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.